it is rewarding to just see the constant introduction of the product into people and new people now. So way back 20 years ago, Paul, which I thought it was the same year you joined me, wasn't it?
10 ago. I'm 10 behind you.
Yeah. It doesn't feel like that.
Maybe it doesn't look like that.
No, it doesn't look like that at all.
So, Stephen is our, I guess, if you like, our upline NMD, and well, I do anyway, get a bit jealous of Steve's lifestyle because we don't see or hear from him anymore because he's just living the life on the passive income, really, mate, aren't you? Chasing your kids around the world on surfing tours and.
Oh yeah, look, you know, you probably have a right to be jealous because it's, for me, it's not about fast cars or you know, trying to get bigger boats or wear more jewelry. It's all about quality time you want to spend. First and foremost, your family. I've got 3 kids. They're 18, 17, and 14. So, you know, now he's finished his schooling and he went to St Augustine's in Brookvale. He's now a professional surfer on the QS series, the qualifying series, to try to make the big league on the Pro Tour. I've got a she's doing her last year at Queenwood Girls School over in Balmoral Beach at Moston, and so she's knuckling down and studying hard. And that, you know, you've got to give kids these days a lot of support when they're doing their final year at school because it's really tough. And then I've got my youngest daughter. She did incredibly well, and she got herself into Manly Selective School, you know, which is down at Brookvale there. It's a high performance academic school. So I'm really excited about that. She saved us about $30,000 a year in school fees. So it's unreal hanging out with the 3 of them, and they all surf. And Paul's right. I do spend a lot of time travelling. As a matter of fact, I just came through Kingscliff. I was just up at. I went up and did some work at Coolangatta, and I snuck in the final day of the Quicksilver and Roxy Pro that was held at Kira, or Snapper Rocks, but the comp was actually at Kira Point. And so I spent a lot of time travelling the east coast of Australia, and also across to the west coast, which I'm on my way up there in 3 weeks. So. That's all because of the cash flow and time leverage that the Juice Plus business offers.
But I've got to say, Stevie, I've probably never said this to you, and probably no reason to, but I've always sat on as a fan of yours because you're certainly not a bloke that's let the money take over you. You've always stuck to your values of your family and living a quality lifestyle, and so that stuff inspires me, mate. So thank you.
Oh, mate, no worries. And I'm not like, you know, you can go and, like, if you live in Australia, you can seriously go and get any lifestyle you want with or without Juice Plus. Like, lifestyle is just a choice, you know, and it's just that the Juice Plus business offered an ingredient, and that was helping people with their health through a diet rich in more fruits and vegetables and berries and plants. And so I became more and more passionate about that, and it became really the cornerstone to where I wanted to work, and I wanted to participate in the community in this arena. So the two joined together, and the fact that the business offers tremendous financial cash flow and independence enabled me to easily choose the lifestyle that I wanted. But you know, I've still got clothes in my wardrobe from 1985. So, you know, I don't sort of spend up. I don't spend up on the lavish kind of deal, if you like. You know.
Yeah. No, well, that's what we all love about you, mate.
Cheers.
Now, so what we'll do is I'll just put you on mute there, Steve. And tonight's call, I've let everyone know that we're going to look at really a way to manage our prospects, whether they be customers or business partners, and to manage our customers that do, you know, really good customer care, and we take great pride in that. But before I go into that, two things I want to share with you. One is the latest on the Children's Health Study, and I had a little bit of, well, I wouldn't say confusion, but I needed to up my knowledge on that. And up until now, the Children's Health Study was for brand new fruit, veggie, or fruit, veggie and berry customers who had started Juice Plus for the first time and may have had a child aged between 4 and 18 years old and wanted to register their child into the Children's Health Study where they could get the Juice Plus complimentary for their child for up to 4 years. And in return, the company would ask that we fill out a survey, or that parents fill out a survey and share with us over the course of those 4 years how they believe Juice Plus was impacting on their child and on themselves. And I think this really started because all the research, the 30 studies or over 30 studies that have been done today proving what Juice Plus does inside the human body has been done on humans and adult humans. But it's not ethical to put children into clinical trials like that on a private company's product. So that's a way in which we were able to achieve information around how Juice Plus impacted on children, and who better than parents that are investing money and trust and belief into this brand of nutrition to then report on that. And to date, we have over 1 million participants around the globe. So I love this because I grew up in that era of going down, you know, Stevie mentioned surf carnivals. I go down to surf carnivals and see girls in boob tubes with Coca-Cola written across the chest in little bikini shorts handing out free Coke. Over time, that turned into Red Bull. And you know what I'm talking about. It's just it's promoing by just giving away free product. There's no vested interest in knowing what the customer thinks of the product or how they believe it's performing for them. So to have a company that literally hands over their product in return to get that information, to have the parents say yay or nay about it is just amazing. To date, they've collated some amazing information around that. And we're at a stage now where the company has turned around, and I'm not sure if this is global, but it's definitely in Australia. And that is, and this is for any franchisee that's been with the company a while now, is we can now call up any of our customers that have been using the fruit and veg or the fruit, veg and berry who have not engaged in the Children's Health Study in any way, shape or form, and offer them the opportunity to come into the Children's Health Study. By that I mean, if this clears it up for you, because I got this clear today, is since my kids have been, Laura, my wife Laura and I have been using Juice Plus pre our children being born. When they were still in the high chair, I was buying gummies, cutting them up into 4, giving a little quarter at a time. And, you know, they were at that age when they just swallowing, they bring food out, you know, they had to learn to swallow it properly, and that's what I would do. So they've certainly been using Juice Plus every day for a long time. However, I'm now allowed to enrol them into the Children's Health Study. So I'll be enrolling Jaya, my son, and my wife will enrol Jarvi, our other son, and we now will be getting that Juice Plus for free for the next 4 years for our kids. So, like, super amazing. So it might be this week time to start going through your customer list, not sending out a bulk text message or email, but personally calling your customers and explaining this to them, because they might have had a child that was 2 years old when you first shared Juice Plus with them and they started using Juice Plus. And they might have even been paying. I've got customers that have been paying for Juice Plus for their kids who have been under 4 years old. And I'm really excited to be ringing them to be like Santa Claus and say, hey, you can get this for free now for 4 years. So is that clear? Nod your head, Kay, Christina, Claire, if that's clear for you. Julia and Ingrid, obviously it doesn't really matter because you haven't got customers that have formerly been using and paying for Juice Plus and not being in the Children's Health Study. So as long as their child, doesn't matter if the child or parent has been using Juice Plus to date, as long as they have not been previously enrolled in the Children's Health Study, ring them and let them know. So that's really exciting. The other thing is I will put a massive reminder out around the conference. Claire and Kay, I'm excited. I know today you both bought your tickets. I've put you in the Magic Moments Movement conference thread so we can communicate around accommodation and flights and so on. So I'm really excited about that. Julie, I can't wait to hear your bought yours. We actually need to continue our conversation around that, and I'm going to work with you for a yes on that. It's just you're deserving of that yes. So let's move in now to this customer care. We always hear the fortune is in the follow-up, and it's not uncommon for people to share Juice Plus with full enthusiasm with somebody and then just leave them. We don't want to bug them. There is a good way in which we will share Juice Plus with people, and we ask them, listen, would you like me to give you a call next week and see what you thought on whatever particular information we gave them. We have many avenues. We have, plenty of videos, 2-minute videos on sports performance and human performance with Juice Plus, the Children's Health Study, lots of information around it, just general family health as well. So again, just give it a nod if you are aware of that and are comfortable with sharing Juice Plus at the moment. Ingrid, if you're not nodding, that's okay. We are speaking tomorrow and we're going to get this clear and confident for you, okay? So what we want to do is once we get a customer on, we don't just go beauty and forget about them. We go beauty, thank you, and we look after them. And it's really easy. Did everyone get the prospect sheet and the customer care tracking sheet that I put? Yep. Christina's got it. Kay's got it. Arthur's got it. Claire, did you get yours? Yep. Ingrid's got it and Julia's got it. Brilliant. So let's literally we'll move through this from prospect to customer. And it could be prospect to business partner, but let's work on prospect to customer. If we look at that prospect sheet, you can see you just put their name up there. I created these like nearly 10 years ago, so you don't need their address. You probably just need their mobile, email, and probably Facebook. So mobile and Facebook is really where people are operating these days. But I will put in there, you see under notes, you can see the date. So say, for example, today, I put in today's date, the 19th, and I might have chatted with Jimmy, bumped into him at the shops, seen him after work somewhere. It doesn't matter where. I might have bumped into Jimmy. A conversation might have rolled on. It might have come down to him and his kids' health or nutrition, or his own personal nutrition, or he's wanting to get his nutrition right for his exercise. So it doesn't matter what it is. I will write down under action what we spoke about and what I shared with him about Juice Plus, and more so the information I sent him away with. So, and generally I do links because I don't want to be the expert. I don't want to be the guy that knows everything, because nobody can follow the guy that knows everything, right? So you just want to keep it simple so people that come into your team can follow what you do. So he might have been talking about nutrition for his kids and himself or his family, and I shared the Juice Plus Children's Health Study, and I sent him a link to that. At that time, I also asked him, listen, when do you think you get a chance to look at it? He might have said, look, by the end of the week. I'll say, look, what's a good day to call you back? He might say, look, what about Friday afternoon? I'd say, perfect. So in those notes, I'd write, call back Friday, whatever Friday's date's going to be. What do we have? 19th to 23rd. And what I would do is I'd slip this behind my folder of 1 to 31. So what is that 1 to 31? Go down to Officeworks by yourself. And this I learned from Danny Martin. This is old school. It's on paper. I haven't changed it. You can probably do it on a computer. You just transfer this system into your computer system. It's up to you, but I love doing it on paper because I write down notes when I'm talking to people, or if I've spoken to them, I get that information down. But go to Officeworks, buy yourself the ring binder folder, with the little arm that clicks up and down and opens and pages in there. Buy one of those. Buy yourself the tabs of 1 to 31, and buy yourself the tabs of January to December. Does everyone understand what I'm talking about? So you'll have yourself an A4 folder that opens up, and you'll have the tabs 1 to 31 in there, and also the tabs of January to December. And what I do is I know that I'm going to speak to him on the 23rd, so I'll slip that behind the number 23. So those numbers relate to the month that we're in currently right now. So I'll slip that behind 23. Does that make sense to everyone? Yeah, and then I get to forget about him. Not in a bad way, but in a good way. I get to clear my head now to speak to other people. Julie will tell you this. She's been speaking to that many people recently, and I told her write it all down, and she has. I'm sure it's been helping you, right? So I might have tomorrow speak to Jenny, and Jenny's talking to me about, I've seen that Shred 10 thing you're doing, what is that? And I tell her, and she said, can you send some information? And I'll say, yeah, no dramas. And I'll text her a link. I'll do the same thing, write Jenny down on the page. I'll have her mobile number, and I would have friended her on Facebook already. I'll write the date of tomorrow, which will be the 20th. I'll write down, Jenny asked me about the Shred 10, and I sent her the 3-minute link of Mitra Ray and Jake Kelly. And I asked her, when would be a good time to call you back on that information. And she told me Monday, the 26th. So I'll just chuck that behind the number 26. You guys get the picture of what's happening here? And it's just easy. Now, you might be at sort of the 28th of March, and you speak to Jeremy. I'm pulling bad names out here, but anyway, you speak to Jeremy. And same thing, Jeremy's talking about, he's training hard. He started a new beach training group and blah, blah, blah. And he needs to back it. He's feeling fatigued and he wants to improve his energy. You talk to him about, sports performance and human performance, and you send him the Jeff Olson video, the 3-minute video, another boomer, and ask him when's a good time to chat. He said, look, call me next week. Well, next week is now, April. So all I do is go, well, which day, mate? He'll tell you the 5th of April. Well, I just pick that up and I chuck it behind April, the month of April. Does that make sense? And on the and what will happen over time? You'll have names behind each month, especially when it comes to your orders. So someone who's having Juice Plus shipped today, and it ships in the next 4 months' time. Does that make sense? So what will happen? You'll have names, these profile sheets going behind the days of the month we're in, or they'll get shifted behind the particular months when you need to get in contact with them. But it allows you to sort of forget about them and clear your head for other people. Is everyone with me? Tell me, put your hand up if you're not. Yeah? No? Oh, yeah, that's a thumbs up. Ingrid, are you with me? Yeah, beautiful. If you're not, let's back up, because we all need to, you couldn't know this enough and know clear enough. So at some stage, I open up the 5th. We've moved into now April, and it's the 2nd of April, and there's Jeremy. And I'd send him the information. I call him back. And he said, yeah, mate, that sounds awesome. I love that video. I asked him what he liked about it. He says it was awesome. I like how he's talking about human performance first and sports performance second. Listen, can I get some Juice Plus? I go, sure, absolutely. And, which one would you like? Did you have a look at that? Can I talk you through that? So you get to that place where now you're placing an order. Yeah? So then let's all go now to the customer tracking sheet. So you put Jimmy's name up there. You can now get rid of the prospect sheet that you had on Jimmy, unless you're sentimental and want to put that away somewhere to read later and feel good about yourself. It doesn't matter. But he now goes on to the customer tracking sheet. And you'll see there his name will go up there. You just probably need to put the product that he's using. You've spoken to him about, as soon as someone orders Juice Plus fruit and veg or fruit, veg and berry, the first thing we do is say, hey, we don't know them already. If they're random people, which happens, believe it or not, or if you know them, they've got a kid, you ask them if they'd like to register their kid into the Children's Health Study. But then you'll have the date. So everyone looking at their sheet, you'll see the due date. So say Jimmy on the 5th of April says, yeah, mate, I want to order. I say, when would you like to do that? He says, right now. I'll write the 5th of April. I'll go onto my virtual office. I'll place the order. And then underneath box 1, you can see call 1. The call 1 is done 10 days after the box is sent. So it was the 5th of April that I placed the order. Next to that, up there on the left of call 1, I'll put the 15th of April. Is everyone with me on that? And all I do is stick it where? Behind number 15. And I forget about him. And I get to go to business and think about everyone else. Every day, we make sure we flip our numbers and have a look, because over time you will have papers or tracking sheets, whether it's customer or prospect sheets, in there. We want to have a full. We want something behind every number every month. Yeah, that's when we know we've got good business going on, good activity. So we do that. So we open it up on the 15th, and we give Jeremy a call and say, "Hey, Jezza, how are you, mate? Listen, I know we just spoke recently, but I just want to make sure your Juice Plus right." He's going to say, "Yes, it did." If for some reason it doesn't say, "Mate, don't worry, I'm going to do a track and trace. I'm not sure what to do, call me," but all you need to actually do is call head office and say, "Hey, I put this customer on, his Juice Plus hasn't shown, can we do a track and trace?" And they'll literally find out through Australia Post where it is for you. But 7 to 10 working days is what we say Juice Plus will come through to our customers in. I always say 7 to 10 working days. Some people say 3 to 5. I don't do that because I don't want to set unrealistic expectations, and generally people are comfortable with that 7 to 10. So when it comes earlier, you sort of under-promised and over-delivered. Then you can see call 2, and you let Jeremy know, "Hey mate, I'm going to call you in another 30 days purely just to see how you're going with your Juice Plus. If you're happy with it, are you okay with that?" Jeremy's going to go, "Yeah, sure, no worries." So on the 30th, so 30 days after the 5th would be, well, it wouldn't be the 35th, would be moving somewhere else into April, May. So we're going to put it, what it'd be about the 5th of May, is that right? That sounds right to me. So you put 5th of May next to call 2 and you chuck that behind May and you just forget about it. Yeah? You keep going through, you're talking to other people, they're going into your system. Eventually May's going to come around. On the 1st of May, you pull everything out from May and it'll show you where to put it. So this one will say put it behind the 5th of May. So you chuck it behind number 5 and again, you forget about him. Eventually you're going to get to the 5th of May and what do? You pull this sheet out and you go, "Oh, give him a call. Jeremy, how are you? It's Paulie here from Juice Plus. And I don't want to take up too much of your time, but just ring to see how you're going with Juice Plus. Did you manage to get the habit up and running and using it every day? You noticing any changes or differences? Anything positive, tell me what you're liking about it." And he'll share that information with you. You can jot it down. And then you say, "Look, mate, really appreciate that. If it's okay, I'm going to call you in another 30 days just to make sure you're on track." So then 60 days after the box is shipped, which was on the 5th of April, we're going to put 5th of June. Does that make sense to you guys? Ingrid, we can cover this again tomorrow. I'm pretty sure, Julie, you're up to speed with this. Yep. So you just chuck that behind April, May, June, right? And you forget about it. And on the 1st of June, you're going to open up, put everything into their date order. This one will go behind number 5, and away we go again. And then you do the same for 90 days. And then for 10 days before the next box is due. So we know if his first box was going on the 5th, the box 1 is going on the 5th of April, May, June, July, August. So we know the due date for box 2 is 5th of August, correct? So on the 25th, June, very much up in May, June, July, on the 25th of July, 10 days before that next box is due, I'll call him again and say, "G'day mate, it's just me. Just wanted to make sure, I know I've been in touch with you through this box, this cycle of Juice Plus. Just want to make sure you're ready for your next box. It's due to ship on the 5th of August. And say, "Yeah, no problem. Awesome, send it through." And I'll say, "Unreal. I'll call you on the 15th of August to make sure it's arrived." Or he might say, "Look, I've fallen a bit behind. Can we delay it a month?" or whatever. But the importance of this first box with your first customers, when I say first box, their first box of Juice Plus, the reason we call them, call 1 is to confirm it arrives. Call 5 is to confirm they want the next box. They're 2 essential calls, right? The other 3 calls are really on each month to just keep them going and make sure they build up their habit and get their habit going. Does that make sense? Thereafter, if you look on the tracking sheet, I only call them 10 days after the box is due to have shipped. So if it was on the 5th of August, I'll call them on the 15th and say, "Mate, did it arrive?" He'll say, "Yeah." I say, "Awesome. I'm not going to bug you like I did before, but I still love you. I'm going to call you in 4 months' time before your next box is due to ship. But if you've got any questions, my line's always open to you." Yeah? And then you slot him behind. So there'll be the 5th of August, September, October, November, December. So box 3 will be 5th of September, which means you'll be calling in on not 5th of September, August, September, December. Is this all making sense to you guys, how we move through this? It's once you've done one customer, you'll realise how easy it is, and you go, "Oh my God, it's so long between calls," and especially when I hit box 2 and 3, you'll just be going, "You know what, I've got to get more customers, I've got to go get more people to love on and care about and whose health I need to improve." So it's very straightforward. Now, I printed these up. I don't even print these up anymore. I just write them by hand. It helped me at the start, but I thought I'd put it up nice and clinical and clean for us to work with tonight. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to unmute everyone. You guys are all unmuted. Does anyone have any questions around that? Was it confusing for anybody?
Nope.
You've got it, Ingrid's got it. Kay, you're comfortable with it?
Arthur's still here, but I can't see my picture.
Oh, we can see you, mate.
You can? Oh,
Handsome man. Did you understand what I just went through with the prospecting?
I did.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, it's going to be the same thing, the prospecting sheet, if it's a business partner. So believe it or not, Julia, you went through my piece of paper. You weren't a number on the list. You're a person with a name, and I was able to get to know you by writing stuff, because I forget stuff. And once you have, as you know now, once you have about 3 to 10 people on the cook, you can get a little confused of who you spoke to what about, especially when you've got family life going on, this and that. So it's really easy to just take a few notes. So when you call them, that's right. They had their daughter, and their daughter's name was Mary. Yeah, I want to call up and go, what's your daughter's name again? I know you're interested in Juice Plus, because they're not going to feel very special at all. And you don't have to remember their name straight up from the front. So why not write it down so when you call, you can ask them. So it's really easy. It makes you a better person, a better caring person, provide better customer care. Yeah? I'm going to leave it at that, because it's that easy. Julia, with you started out as a customer. You were on that customer sheet, but I didn't even get to box 2. I think we were talking about the business before then. I thought I've got to get a prospect sheet going for you in the business. You hurried me through that, and so then we just sort of went straight into, coaching you through the marketing plan, really the compensation plan. So, yay for you. So, look, no one's got any questions on that. That's awesome. Cheryl, did you have any questions on it?
No, I'm fine with that. Thanks, Paul.
Yep, Steve, I know you wouldn't even need to be asked if you've got any questions on it.
No, I love that system. It's the system I've used.
Yep.
It's brilliant. So, yeah, it's perfect, mate. Well presented too.
Thanks, mate. It's actually bulletproof. This was from Danny Martin to me over 10 years ago, obviously to Steve before that. This is literally like the wheel. You don't need to reinvent it. You may make it more usable for you if you're a electronics person. If you're a computer person, you can do this. They actually have, there is an option to use your virtual office for this. I went through it. I even did some training with franchise support at head office. It just wasn't for me, because I walk out the door, take my diary, I could go train clients, I come back, I might be here, I'm in the car, I do a lot of calls in the car. It was before, you think about 10 years ago, it was before I was doing everything on phones. So I've just become the paper guy. I'm highly visual, so I need things big and in front of my face. So whatever works for you, whether you take this electronic or you keep it paper trail, just use the system. 1 to 31 days of the month. Make sure you call when you say you're going to call. It gives you a lot of integrity and respect within your customers' eyes. You just don't know, and I know this with Julia, you just don't know which customers of yours might turn around and go, hey, can I do what you're doing? And if you've treated them with love and respect and professionally, what are they going to do? What are they going to find easy? What are they going to see is the right way to do it? Does that make sense? So that's it. Before we wrap up, Stevie, I'm just going to, you're here already. And I did mention this at the start of the conference, but I don't want to waste an opportunity while you're here, is why would you encourage all your team to be at conference? In all the years you've been going to conference, what is it that has you coming back to conference every time? Why is it a primary non-negotiable for you every year? And what would you say to everyone on the call tonight about conference?
Well, every year there's a major place where you can learn the most about your business and your company and your product and your people. And once a year, all of the people that are, wanting to do significant things with Juice Plus the product and Juice Plus the business and company are all going to meet at our annual conference. And there's not just one in Australia. These annual conferences are twice a year in the US, once a year in Europe, once a year in Australia. We now have one over in New Zealand. So the reason I go every year is because I don't want to miss out on what's happening in the world of Juice Plus. Secondly, I want to be there with the people that can give me the answers that I'm really going to need to move forward with my product and my business model. And so by being there, you become part of all of this. You start to commit, you start to step out of your own home, and you start to mix with the like-minded leaders and people that have had, you know, the experience and that have, you know, made all the mistakes there is to make. And they're able to then, you know, give great advice and great support to all those people that are at conference. But more importantly, I just love the community of the conference, and I love the friendships and the people and the vibe of the whole thing. So it's one of those business decisions that I just tick off every year, and I'm so glad I've done that. I've never missed a conference in the US every year for 20 years, and I've never missed a conference in Australia for 20 years, and I'm so glad I went to them all.
Yeah, unreal, mate. You would have been going to conferences when they first started, when there was in Australia, when there was 60 people in Darling Harbour, and I was at those, and as you know now, you know, last year was, I believe it was 1,400.
Yep.
This year there's 1,500 tickets on sale, and they're going to go. What's changed and what I've seen and what really inspired, well, I'll be honest with you, what intimidated me a number of years ago, which now inspires me, and that was all around that change, or that shift was me shifting my self-belief. But the number of people that are going across stage as NMDs, sharing their story, that with all respect I say, what average people who are now living above average lifestyles with above average income, which is residual income, who are enjoying that because they're now making a difference to so many other people's lives through the business and product. And to be in a room with that is so much different than going to a standard conference where people are just talking at you. Now, I sit in that seat and I feel like every person that goes on stage and starts sharing this story, I could honestly swear to God, are they just talking to me? they're talking to me, right? So I love that about the conference, and we've had so far some NMDs who have been supporting us in our Wednesday night Zoom, who I can't wait to go and say hello to, give a hug to, and say thank you to. So with that, if anyone hasn't got any questions, we'll wrap up. Does anyone have a question around anything? With that monkey in the corner, who's that?
So hi.
Hello, mate. And another thing we enjoy, we can do business with our family by our sides. Has anyone got any questions before we finish up, whether it be around conference? You know, Steve's right here asking questions, or customer care, or the children's health studies. Everyone happy with the information they got tonight and understands it clearly?
Oh, good.
Paul, one thing I picked up from Celine, listening to her, was somebody asked the question, why do we save for a child between 4 and 18?
Yep.
And the reason behind that is to cover Juice Plus from a choking hazard point of view. But children much younger than that can be given it.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a good point to raise. Why is it? Why is it? Yeah, why is it support? Like, because what that does sometimes. There's another little monkey in the background. They can't help it when they get on the screen, can they?
Sarah, you say hello to Claire. Hi.
So it is true. Fruits and vegetables for everyone. So if you're comfortable with your child who's less than 4 years old to eat, you know, broccoli, cabbage, kale, and the array that's in Juice Plus, then you just do that in a way which is comfortable for you. Like I said, I used to cut our gummies into 4, and I've seen 2-year-olds eating a lot of crap. So I'm not going to be challenged by anyone that says, "Oh, you can't do that. You know, that they're too young for that." Because my question is, okay, why? You know, really? So good point, Claire. Thanks for sharing that. 18. I don't know anyone that's 18 years old and older that chokes on the Juice Plus. I think 18 purely comes from, you know what? You're 18, you're working, go pay for your Juice Plus. If you want to look after yourself, have some responsibility. I really don't know the answer. That's just what I put because it says my kids turn 18. Yeah, you're on your own. So anyway, I want to say thanks to everyone for jumping on tonight. I hope you got value out of this, and I really hope if you're not already doing customer care that way that you adopt that because it's a real good way to build customer relationships. So good night, people, and thanks for jumping.
Thanks, Paul.
Bye.
Great, Paul.
Thanks, Paul.
Bye, Zach. Bye, Zach.
Say bye.
Bye.
How are you?